Hello and welcome to Texas Tracks and Taps. I'm Coy,
I'm Graham. And I'm John.
and we are so glad you're tuning in today to episode 8. Very excited to bring this one to you. We have a wonderful guest that we are all fans of, and I think after talking to him became even bigger fans of. So we have JT Mudd joining us on today's episode to talk about Ishi and all things that music in his life, and just a wonderful conversation with him. We're also going to touch on after that the assignment that John, or actually Sarah, John's wife, gave the group, which was to check out a band we had never heard of before, Dexter and The Moonrocks out of Abilene, Texas. We all gave them a listen and have our book report ready to go after the interview with JT. But before that, as always, to cover the taps part of Texas Tracks and Taps, we are starting off with our first beer of the episode, and then we'll transition as we go to the second one.
Yes. So we are drinking Celestial Beerworks beer tonight, which is a Dallas brewery, one of our absolute favorite breweries in the DFW. This particular brew I'm enjoying tonight is Nostalgia. It's a old school West Coast IPA, which for me, is right up my alley because when I first kind of got into IPAs, it was West Coast, and it was the more kind of aromatic, a little bit bitter, a little more dank kind of IPAs. And so for me, this is a win. Celestial and West Coast, very good stuff.
And John, I think you're doubling up on yours. So
I am. Beer one and beer two are the same because I am a non-IPA drinker. So, but I found a very good Pilsner from Celestial, and it is the Italian Pilsner. And I must say, one of the things that impresses me, not only is it a delicious beer, tastes mighty fine, but the artwork on this can is rather amazing. And I think you told the story that it is the better half, I think the owner's wife, that actually does all the artwork.
Yep.
And so compliments to the artist on this as well.
Yeah. Molly Reynolds.
Yeah. Matt
Molly,
and Molly,
good
the
job.
owners, Matt brews, Molly does art, and they are a wonderful team. And everyone that they've added on to that team out there is the most wonderful people that you'll meet. And so Graham's gonna have this one that I'm enjoying right now later. So, and he'll talk about it more. But I'm going with the purple drink. Yeah, the ube pineapple coconut sour. It's very popular because of they pulled off that color in a beer, and that's just like, I mean, people go crazy about it, and it's a good beer on top of that. And I love coconut and pineapple, and not opposed to the color purple at all. But Graham will talk about it a bit more later because it's also one of his beers. And but yeah, their artwork on their cans, like this is my second beer, I'll drink it later, but like the karaoke can, I love it. It's super fun. They do karaoke there at the tap room. So John, we need to get you out there because Graham and I love that place, and check out the place and the Cosmic Cantina. They have a nice little taco truck that serves up some pretty good food as well. So yeah, but that's what we're enjoying. So cheers, and we'll get the show started and do our interview with JT.
All right, hey, how's it going, JT? Welcome to Texas Tracks and Taps. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, absolutely, man. Thanks for jumping on with us. So yeah, man, just wanted to get you on. I know you've got a new EP that you just dropped, and it's a collaboration with Rum Tum.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that and what Rum Tum is, first of all, and how that collaboration came about.
Yeah, so it was probably 2013 or 14 or something like that. I was on tour, Colorado, Denver. And I can't remember if we met at a party or how we met, but we met and I heard his music and, you know, I really liked it a lot. And I convinced him to like just send me some music that he didn't really know what to do with. Um, and so he gave me about eight songs or so. And yeah, it just really inspired really inspired me lyrically wise and melody wise, and just got some, I feel like some really good stuff out of me. And I mean, so we've been sitting on this EP for a while. And yeah, so I went sober for 5 months at the top of last year, and then just like really honed in on the mixing and just getting it ready to go, and really wanted to release it. And yeah, so I mean, I was really proud of the way it turned out. And
Yeah, man. It's very cool. It's very vibey, it's very chill, you know. I like it.
yep,
I like a lot of some of your other stuff that's, you know, got a more, you know, kind of more dancey, kind of more poppy vibe, but this is very chill, and I dig that, especially, you know, right now in my life. I got a lot going on, a lot of stress. It's very cool to me to put that on in the car. It just, you know, helps me relax, you know, man. So
yeah, that's a,
it's chill. So tell me a little bit about the record label that you have put out these last few records on. Swedish record label, is that correct?
yeah,
So how did that come about?
yeah. It was pretty crazy. I guess it was during COVID. I guess like May of 2020, an LA manager hit me up and wanted to work with me. And, and that was just one of the tasks that I told him I wanted. I wanted to be on a label. And I think I just did like a 1-year deal with him from 20 to 21. And he got me he just randomly reached out to these guys out there. And then at the top of 21, I got the label deal. So he pretty much, you know, saved his job on that one. And yeah, these guys were just really cool. I mean, it was, you know, really independent label, really, you know, but they, you know, they kind of, you know, with people overseas and stuff like that, just, you know, they have a more affinity um for just indie music. And you know, they just let things breathe and you know give artists a lot more room to do what they want to do, and not it's all about, you know, making a ton of money.
Right. It's more
Uh,
creative freedom and stuff.
yeah, I have a very old school mentality on that. And yeah, I mean, was the last thing I was expecting was to get a record deal during COVID, so that was pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
So yeah, Sweet Gold came out. Was my first record I did with them. Um,
Great album, by the way.
Thank you. And yeah, you know, it went well. I mean, we got some of our collabs. I mean, I was able to work with Crack and Smack, which was I think they're Dutch. They're very kind of prevalent electronic group. We got them to do one, and another French producer named Usek. And yeah, both of those remixes, you know, are doing well. Got some licensing deals, got a song, and the second season of like Dark Matter. It's like an Apple TV show, and
Yeah.
and that, yeah, so that was a remix of Not My Girl. And then the original version of Not My Girl was, no, I take that back. It was Lo-Fi Love Affair, made it into Atlanta.
Okay. Nice. Very cool.
Yeah, so we were able to, land some syncs and, so the label, later that year, I dropped my manager because we were being pretty adventurous and trying to start up a boutique festival, Cozumel,
Yeah.
and we booked like we booked Channel Trace. There was another Channel Trace. I can't even remember right now. But anyway, that went basically 2 months before the event. We weren't selling tickets and we didn't have enough money into marketing and stuff like that. And we had $50,000 to book talent and everything. It was like a 77 person boutique hotel, and it was amazing. It was dope. We got that really cheap, and we just weren't selling tickets. And I was like, "Oh, we need to freaking call this," and he just wouldn't. And like a week before the event, he goes MIA, and I have to like call everybody and tell them that the festival's canceled.
Oh,
Around London. And so that pretty much was the demise of our relationship.
Yeah.
But I mean, luckily, all the, you have to pay these bands, 50% deposit. So, they basically, some of them were hounding for the whole thing, but I was just like, yo, you're getting like 5. Some bands are getting 5 and $15,000 for not doing anything. So I was just like, chill out.
What are you complaining about?
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild, man. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I remember, seeing you post stuff about that festival and everything. I hadn't heard that story behind that though. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's a bummer it didn't work out, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's part of
out that you needed to move on from Mr. Manager.
Yeah. So, and then on top of it, the deal that, I basically found out, I don't know, 8 months ago, that the deal that my manager told me that I got with my current label, isn't true. So luckily the label is working with me on the second label or a second record to get the deal that I thought I was going to get. So that is promising and cool of them to do.
Yeah, and I thought I read, correct me if I'm wrong, you have another full like LP ready to release?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, hopefully the first quarter I'll be releasing my first single for them. So I'm just going back to my roots, and it's just straight up dance record. A little kind of clubby, tech house, the kind of first 3 songs, and then kind of drifts into going more kind of indie dance and just just electronic music.
Very cool. That kind of is a good segue into my kind of next question, which is one of the things I love about your music is the way you blend kind of so many different styles and kind of genres into what you do. What would you say are some of the biggest influences that have contributed to your unique sound and style?
Man, it's tough because it's not really like because I grew up listening to a lot of post-punk, my first bands were post-punk bands, and rip-offs of very obscure bands like Fugazi and I was just listening to this other band. I don't know if you ever came across this. Well, yeah, I mean, the Midwest had some really cool bands called like Shiner and Boys Life, Braid, and anyway, so it was so that was my upbringing, and then like of course like Page of the Line and Bedhead and just obscure stuff. I never grew up listening or was a fan of much mainstream stuff until like, my mid-20s, Graham and I mean, we went to high school together and, it was a private school and I think we both grew up in the church. So we were both, I mean, I was pretty sheltered on a lot of music. And so it wasn't until I met my producer for Ishi that the whole, landscape of dance music was really brought into my life. But I don't know, man. I mean, I always just tried to bring in those things, and a lot of it is probably just collective consciousness. I mean, because of how sheltered I was, really, but always just, I mean, obviously Michael Jackson and Prince were. I was able to watch some MTV at kids' houses and stuff like that. I mean, that stuff stuck with me. But yeah, I always, just try to be as soulful as a white boy could be. This white boy could be.
Yeah, well, it's worked out for you, man. I mean, you definitely have created your own unique style, and we all dig it. So it's very cool, man. A lot of people do. I'm proud of you, man, for your dream and your passion, man, for sure.
I appreciate that. It's no easy.
It's not always easy.
Yeah.
JT, it's good to meet you, man.
Yeah, you too.
I always introduce myself as the outsider of the group here. I did not grow up in Texas and kind of have a very eclectic background of music and where I've lived. But one thing I love digging into with artists is really understanding their process of songwriting. Like, how do you go through that? And I actually did my research on you. I watched a lot of interviews from the past, listened to pretty much every single piece of music you put out. And I think in one interview you were self-described at a show, it's a party. And I'm just kind of wondering, what's your process for not only songwriting, but for your shows? There's a lot that appears to go into it, and also just looking at your videos, it appears that there's a lot that goes into that. So what's your process for those three?
Well, the great thing about songwriting, it's it's kind of endless of how you approach it, and that's what is fun about it. The majority of the first couple records, my founding member Brad Dale would send me a full written song of drums, keys, and everything, and then I would just write the lyrics and the melody. That was a big part of me. And then there's aspects of me writing a folk tune on the guitar, and then me transposing that to electronic instruments and synths and stuff like that. It's just kind of like wherever the inspiration is, you just follow that, no matter how it starts. It could be a lyric or a melody, and that's what's so great about it is just trying to put that puzzle together that moves you and like get you excited about it. As far as I mean, like I said, I was very sheltered. I was never into theater or anything. But this band just really just brought some really good things out of my psyche. You know, I don't know if, well, basically, I just wanted to see, like in Dallas and DFW scene, um, just see things that no one was doing. I mean, even from my punk rock bands and all that stuff, I was very energetic and very showmanship, and was, even like in the praise and worship band, was just very emotive. And um and I just, you know, all the rock and roll band, they're just four guys up there, and there's not much of a light show, or there might be, or there, isn't, but they stay in one place. And um I don't know, I just wanted to try some things out, and writing, and what really got me into, because I had a band in the first parts of the band, of the group, backup singer, drummer, guitar player. And, as a musician, it's tough, and life catches up with everybody. So, like, probably like 2016, or maybe, 2017, 18, the members, just had to move on with life. And so I had to kind of adapt. And I love playing with those guys so much that I couldn't really foresee replacing them. So then I incorporated dancers and invested in a light show, and just doing weird and visual things that would captivate and kind of replace a band.
That's cool. That's cool. So do you like, is it a collaborative effort? Like I haven't had the opportunity to see you live yet. I'm hoping
Yeah.
it's coming up in 2025, but, is it collaborative, for your shows? Like, do you work with the actual performers and try to plan things out and choreograph, or is it just, is it,
Yeah. Yeah. It's not choreographed. It's kind of like, my late 20s and early 30s, when Ishi was popping off, I was very, an adamant and hands-on individual. It's like rehearsals, like just, you know, probably
Militant.
over rehearsing, and just very perfection. And so that pretty much, obviously, probably burned out some of my members, and obviously burned out myself. So I don't rehearse my shows anymore. And so these dancers and these costumes I've allocated are just free form. Like there'll be, like, I've integrated like ghillie suits, and I have, uh, like, basically, the silks from like aerial yoga that I drape over people, and then they just move, and it really looks really cool. Yeah, so it's all free form. Yeah, so that's where I've kind
cool. Thanks.
of to. Yeah, what's some of y'all's favorite venues out in Fort Worth? I mean, I want to play out. I don't play out there that much because it's just, it's tough to get into venues out there. I mean, I've been trying to book, what's it called? Tulips. Yeah, Tulips for like a year and a half. Gotten no response.
Really?
Recently, one of my old sound engineers went on the road with me. He's the head sound guy over at Tulips now, and he randomly texted me. He was like, "Yeah, I'm over here." He's like, "I'm trying to get you a gig." But yeah, is there any other cool spots besides Tulips?
The Cicada is another one. It used to be
Like they
Mass.
have good.
Do you remember Mass?
Yeah, but that's not around anymore.
But it's a Cicada now.
Okay, what is it? The same spot,
Yeah, same spot.
same sound, and everything.
And that I'm not sure. I mean, honestly, I haven't been since it's become the Cicada. I just know
Okay.
how shows take place. What was the other one? Well, I mean, the Post was cool, and they went away, but they're coming back. They're about to reopen. Have you heard of the Post?
I guess I haven't. What's the one? The other one, the big one.
Tannehills.
Dick?
Yeah, it's like Dickies.
Well,
Dickies
brewery.
Arena, you could.
Oh, the big brewery in Fort Rar or
Oh,
Yeah,
Martin.
Rar.
right.
Yeah, they took a liking to us, and they booked us out there. I mean, it's been probably 5 years, but they booked us at least 2 or 3 times for
Oh, nice.
whatever events they do out there. But wasn't that a place off Magnolia called Live Oak too, or something?
That's the place. So the people behind Live Oak, they are the people behind the Post. Yeah, the Live Oak didn't make it.
Right.
Post opened up over on Race Street, which is just kind of in a weird part of town that's trying to be like gentrified and revitalized. But it didn't
Okay.
make it over there, and now they're opening up the Post in the old Lola's spot on West 7th,
Oh.
off of West 7th.
So Lola's no more now?
Yeah, Lola's is gone. Lola's they got forced to move out of the West 7th location, and they moved over to over near TCU off of Berry and like University. And they didn't make it over there maybe like 2 years at the most. And then they closed their doors. But yeah, the Post is moving in. Someplace moved in the interim into that Lola spot. I don't even know what it was, but they didn't make it, and so now the Post is taking that over. So
I got a venue.
that should be good, and that might be a good place for you to play as well. But
I got a venue for you. I know you've never heard of. It's called Billy Bob's. Coy
Yeah, I mean,
introduced
if
me
I
to
can
that.
check that bitch out, I would. I mean, the last show I went there was I had a buddy that was the the showrunner back there, and it was for Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll played there with
Really?
Noah Khan did a couple songs there, and what was their name? Landy or Wilson? Can't remember her first name. Something.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I
She's
know
got-
what you're talking about.
Yeah, Jelly Roll and her have a big,
Yeah.
That was cool to see. This is my first time ever seeing a show at Billy Bob's. Was that show? And it was cool. It was packed. It was a good time. But yeah,
I thought the dynamic of Toadies. Well, we went to see the Toadies there, but then seeing the Cowboys try to boot scoot on the dance floor while the Toadies are playing. That's
funny. Yeah, I would love to see the Toadies there too. Yo, Toadies are awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. This was so. I mean, I grew up in the mid cities area. I'm in Arlington, and then I got a sound engineering degree. And I mean, Dallas was really the only spot to go to run sound at clubs and stuff. But, I mean, I went out there a lot, in high school, like the rec room, and I mean, that spot I was there probably almost every weekend.
Aardvark.
Yeah, the Aardvark, and Aardvark. I played the Aardvark and the rec room.
Yeah,
Multiple times.
and because
Yeah.
like I've talked about this before, but because we were those, living the sheltered life in our conservative Christian families, I saw a year band play at Club 412,
Yeah.
a little Christian club in Fort Worth back in the day.
Yeah.
And then we used
Yeah,
to go
that
to a
was-
lot of shows. You and I probably at God's Place. Coy did as well. he was going to see a lot of shows back then in the Christian vein. So
Yeah, so I mean that was like really like I mean it was when we were rocking, it was when Fort Worth's live music was probably at one of its peaks. I mean I wish it was different. I mean I would like to play there more, but I don't know. It's just kind of like it's not like didn't seem like Fort Worth is trying. I mean, Fort Worth people probably or artists probably think the same. That Dallas isn't trying to get Fort Worth artists, but
yeah,
it's not like. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not like I draw crazy, but I get anywhere from 100 to 200 people out there.
yeah,
on a good night, but
yeah, man. I mean, we'd love to have you out here, and if we could do anything to help you there, we definitely will.
Yeah. I think the first time I saw you was actually in Fort Worth. It was way back in the day, but at City Streets in Sundance Square, you played like in one of the, because that was like, they boasted being like 4 clubs in one. And like they had this one kind of like cool loungy area and that's where I first saw you. And that was a great show, and like the fun and like the party atmosphere, just like good tunes, everyone was vibing, everyone was happy, dancing, and you have the Indian headdress on and you're just rocking it, and it was a good time. I was a fan.
I'm sorry. Was it kind of like in a basement area?
Yeah, it was very underground. Yeah.
Right off Sundance Square. Yeah.
I do vaguely remember that one.
Yeah. It was a fun show.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just recently went to Dickies for the first time in October. Went to go see this electronic artist named Fred again.
Okay.
And it was a great show. It was great.
Yeah, Dickies is a good place because it's big enough to get larger touring acts, but it's also like not as huge as your AT&T or American Airlines. So I'm so glad it's here in Fort Worth because that's awesome.
Yeah, because for sure, because y'all because of that are probably getting a little more acts. I mean, I know my sister went to go see Justin Timberlake, and I think what's that other big country artist?
George Strait.
A little bit newer.
Yeah.
He had a big tune with Justin Timberlake.
Is that right?
There's a big, he has beard, long hair. He's on Monday Night Football.
Cody something. I don't know.
God damn it, what is his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway.
Man. Co-Wetzel or I don't know.
My sister likes them too. Wasn't that?
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't make it out to Fort Worth that much.
I did remember the other place called the Boiled Owl Tavern.
Yeah.
I never, I mean, it was, I
It's
never
a real small community, but yeah, that's where Leon, when he was in town recently, did a little pop up
Oh, okay.
there, and
Well,
he used to play there back in.
Yeah.
Chris Stapleton is who we were trying to get.
Yeah,
That's it.
Chris Stapleton's great.
Yeah.
Well, speak since we're talking about venues. What was your favorite show, if you can remember? Like, what is your favorite? Is there a show that you've played, or a venue that you played, or a city that you played that stands out as your favorite show you've ever played? I know you probably played thousands upon thousands, but is there one?
Here's how many shows I played. It's probably not that many. I mean, it's probably close. No. It's probably not that many. It's probably maybe up to 1,000, but
Yeah.
or I would say probably less, but I don't know. But I would have to give mad props to Trees because they were because they're kind of like how things really blew up. In my recollection was in 2010 Trees or The Edge, the radio station, was doing Battle of the Bands to play 2010's Edge Fest, and we didn't even know anything about it, but we were, I don't know, I guess we were blown up. We played a show at at House of Blues, and then basically the Trees owner hit us up and was like all these bands suck at this Battle of Bands, and like guys basically like, if y'all play it, y'all will win. And so we played it, and and we won, and we played Edge Fest, and that year was huge. Like, it was at like Dr. Pepper Stadium in Frisco. Like freaking Phoenix play, Deftones,
Wow.
21 Pilots, like right when they were getting started, Bush, uh, who else? Yeah, I mean, just a bunch of big ass bands, and that was good. And then from there on, from like 2010 till 2019, I played Trees New Year's every year. And yeah, so they always took care of us, and it's a legendary spot. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that. And so I have to say that for local, I would say a fun one was, just kind of a humbling one was what we were playing like South by Southwest, and it was for their like the tech week before, and Bill Nye was hosting, so we got to meet him, and then we were opening up for Kid Cudi, and we were playing out at Stubbs, and we were playing, it's kind of a weird freaking matchup, but these kids had been waiting to see Kid Cudi for like hours, so they were like not into us at all. We're playing in front of like 2,000 people, and they have these kids like literally like resting their heads on top of the stage, and we're just like, do you guys really want us to play the full hour? Like, it's like towards the end of the set, it was just like, it was so brutal. All of us guys were just like, get us off the stage, dude. Like, it was brutal. I guess obviously a big highlight was opening up for New Order for sure in 2012, Palladium Ballroom.
Right.
Those guys were super nice.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Trees and actually the New Year's show. We didn't plan this. I didn't know what you were going to say, but my segue from venue talk to the next thing I want to talk about was going to be bringing up, I saw you at Trees in 2019 for New Year's Eve, and we were going to the Winter Classic on New Year's Day at the Cotton Bowl. The Dallas Stars were playing in it.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to make that drive, from
That's so cool.
We got a hotel room in Dallas to be close. We're having dinner, and we're just gonna be like, yeah, it's gonna be a mellow New Year's Eve. We're just gonna have dinner, go to the room, go to sleep because we got a big day tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we saw on our phones that you were doing a New Year's show at Trees, and we're like, never mind, we're gonna go see Ishi at Trees and have the best New Year's Eve. Like, it was so fun. That is a great venue. I love Trees also, but that was such a great night and a fun New Year's Eve party. And then really meaningful because like a couple months later, the world shut down, and so it was like really one of the last times I got to go out and enjoy live music. But I love the crowd. Yeah, I love the crowd at your shows. It's one of the more diverse crowds that I feel like I see when I go see local music. Although I feel like Dallas does a really good job of, Dallas is a very diverse city. But it's so cool to see how many different types of people come together to like check out and listen to your music. And so as part of that scene, can you tell us a little bit about like what your experience has been kind of with how diverse the scene is and how that's impacted you? And then also, what do you think that you give back to that diversity in the scene?
And I honestly don't know. Um, my analysis would just be, um, just because Ishi has filled such a void of any type of dance music in DFW, really. On top of it, um, and just being in the music industry. I mean, I was a sound engineer at this kind of another small venue called the Cavern, and I was the main engineer there, and that's kind of where Ishi got its start too, where people knew me as a sound engineer, and then I was able to, um, just with people, not even knowing that I really did music, and it piqued their interest, and then I was able to, I guess, somewhat build a community. I did like a weekly showcase for like 3 or 4 years. I called it Detour, where I brought in a DJ, an artist or artists, and a live act all in one night, free event. And that really brought the community together. And that's what really helped Ishi out a lot, was having that community to really spark what we became.
That's awesome. And I feel like the music community, especially when I go to like your show and I see how you're doing the costumes and the lighting but I see like it's like I feel like the art community is involved, the music community, fashion community, maybe. I don't know, maybe it's just an outsider looking in, but is there some overlap? Are those groups as tightly interconnected as it feels like it is? Or, kind of what's been your
Yeah,
experience there?
I mean, when back in those days when stuff was going on, I didn't know a lot of artists. I knew more dancers, that I would hire. But I guess like, and then it would be more like tech guys, like people that are in the production realm. I mean, that's who I was conversing with to get, big ass mirror balls and video mapping and stuff like that. And I mean, I think with my show and like how far out I was willing to go with my costumes and stuff like that, I think it just encouraged people to, embrace it. That I'm really, I mean, I knew a lot of those people, but it wasn't like, I was, never really in touch with the fashion scene because I wasn't even part of it really.
I think it's just you're a draw for those types of people. They want to go see it. So I think as being out in the crowd, I'm seeing that like, wow, he's bringing in all these different things. And so I'm in my head, I'm just like, I wonder if it's because like, I know you're like a really great, friendly personality too. So I'm just like, is this just like, he's just really well liked? And I'm sure you are. But I think it's really the music, the power of like a testament to like what your music does. It brings a lot of different people together. So that's really cool to actually hear that it's more organic and it's not like an active thing, but more of a passive thing for you. That's
Yeah,
fun.
I really think, like I said, I mean, like it was like it was a melting pot for like ravers and like and just people that didn't know anything about dance music or didn't know anything about it. And so it was like kind of yeah, music lovers and people that saw familiarity in like the dance culture. And yeah, it was definitely a melting pot of those two for sure. Of just
Yeah.
of music lovers and then raise kids.
I'll speak from my own just personal point of view. Like, you definitely, like, your music as Ishi and forgive me, but I was trying to think of the band that you and JJ had before Ishi.
Henry Holt.
No, you had another
Soft Environmental Collapse.
Yes, Soft Environmental Collapse.
Right.
That album you put out, and then, like the first two Ishi albums for sure, just like those were big gateways for me into that kind of, like, I was a big, just rock and indie and alt country kind of guy, so just speaking from my personal experience, it was definitely it kind of blended enough of the things that I did like about music with, that side of things to kind of get me into that and push me in and to introduce me to a lot of other different stuff that I probably would have never gotten into. So thank you for that.
No.
JT, when are you playing live next? Like, I want to see you. So,
but yeah, so so I'm trying to. I guess in the next couple of days, I'm trying to book. I don't even know. I guess basically an EP release party for Castles. I mean, the first couple months of every year is always slow time for entertainment and the artistic endeavors and creatives. So I don't even know if I'll be able to even have any type of music to purchase, but I'm just, if I don't, then I'll just throw the party just to throw the party. And so, I mean, I haven't done a ticketed Ishi show in Dallas in too long. I mean, it's been, I mean, I played May of last year, and it was a free event. I mean, all my events have been free. I mean, able to get money on the backside of it, but yeah, so I haven't done a ticketed event in a while. But yeah,
let me know when you book it.
Yeah, no, I'll text.
Yeah, we'll make it a Texas Tracks and Caps.
I can't announce a show before I want to do another show, but anyway, there'll be at least 2 shows in the first quarter that will be worth checking out.
Cool. Well, so I got a question about you mentioned New Order. That was kind of that's been a highlight of your career so far. Also noticed that you did a cover I saw on YouTube of Depeche Mode. And
Yeah.
I would assume you've done it in some of your shows at some point. I'm curious, and I'm going to lead the witness because I have some suggestions for you. But what would be another kind of big name act that you would love to cover in the future? Love and Rockets, Kraftwerk.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I need to revisit that one. I mean, I need to. I performed Bizarre Love Triangle. I have that all produced out, and I need to try to release some covers. Yeah, but it's just always kind of just. It's a promotional thing, there's no money in it really to do it, but yeah, so I really want to try to get that Bizarre Love Triangle done. Another one would be like Radiohead.
Really?
Yeah, I would love to cover some Radiohead for sure. And yeah. I don't know. I need to do some more covers. I mean, the label is kind of insinuated that I should, and it is good. It is good promo and stuff like that. But another one, I love the tune So I recently watched the Duran Duran documentary on Netflix, and what's that dope ass song?
The
I don't know what.
Reflex.
Huh?
Or earlier or later or
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Reflex.
it's early. It's earlier. Yeah, it's my video. I can't look at up on my phone because my phone is on Zoom, but it's an amazing. I mean, I don't think I could pull it off, but it's such a beautiful. I would like to try to attempt to, but it's a beautiful song. I know you guys have heard it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I've seen they're actually great in concert. Like they put on a good show. So
I feel like you
and
could definitely pull off the Duran Duran cover.
Kraftwerk is actually going to be here in Dallas in April.
They can do the factory.
I think it's in a venue I've never heard of before. It's not Toyota Music Factory. It's I think it's somewhere in Arlington.
Oh, interesting.
Like for some reason that rings a bell. I don't know, or Grand Prairie, somewhere around there.
I mean, maybe Trust.
Texas
See-
Trust.
Yeah, Texas.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I'm thinking about catching them because kind of a once in a lifetime.
Yeah, at this point for sure.
Oh, I got one more question at least for you. We did an episode a couple episodes back on kind of just discussing the role of AI in music today. What are your kind of thoughts on AI in music? Have you ever used AI in any of your, music production or anything like that? And what are your feelings on it?
Yeah, have, I haven't used AI, but I have. I mean, I've been exploring with it.
Yeah.
The only thing I think like I might, you can't even really hear it, but there's a tune on my new record that I tried some AI vocals on. And technically AI vocal in in my track. You won't ever be able to tell because I tucked it in there so well. So I just did it as a layering aspect of layering my vocal. So I I think I think it'll be cool. And then I know that the distributors are like, basically the platforms that put out music. The one that I use is basically, send us a notification. Basically, they want to know everything that you're doing. If there's any AI involved, which they've never asked that before. So they're wanting to know. They're wanting to have a better barometer of what is being used. And yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I've started using it as on a couple of songs I'm working on as far as for lyrics. I'll have like a verse and I'll to have them expound on it, and it's been pretty. It's been pretty good.
Helpful to get the creative juices flowing, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'll have like a really good line, and then just ask them to elaborate on it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where I think uh, it's going to happen, obviously, but I think it really I don't think it will replace. I mean, like, really replace the industry, but I I think there'll be a fad where there'll be AI artists and people, you know, that'll happen, but it'll always come back to people wanting to, just like they want to go camping, they want to see an artist.
Yeah.
Um,
And artists wanting to make art. Like it's within us to want to make things and produce things.
yeah, and I think it's still like I think it's a tool
Yeah.
that that'll be great, and it's like it's been done. Like, the idea of you know of AI, it seems scary, and it can be in, people's hands. It can be, but as far as like even dance music and hip hop, like them like sampling other people's music is like a form of AI, in my opinion, if you look at it, because it's not even something they wrote
Right.
as far as the meat and potatoes. But I think it will really separate people will be people's taste, like if you have good taste, if you have help from AI, it's gonna be better or it'll be the same, but you'll be able to get to where you want to get to quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's, I mean, I think like the kids that are, that have taste, can get there, will be able to get there quicker. I mean, I'm not a virtuoso musician, but I think I've built the craft of songwriting and of having good taste that has allowed me to create my own voice, and it'll allow me to just you know Sweet Gold and this new record will be like the first two records that um, I will be the main producer on any of my records, and it's draining. It's a lot of work, and if I that will help me get it to a quicker spot. I mean, I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, and that's kind of, the same kind of sentiments we had on it as well. Just, so long as, the integrity of music's still there, it's being, the actual creation of it, the ideas for the most part are, coming from the artist, if it's used as a tool, for inspiration or for just the process of, mixing or, mastering or something like that,
Yeah.
it's obviously can be a very helpful tool, so we're not opposed to it either.
Yeah, one last question, and then I guess maybe we can wrap it because I think we're well over an hour. But JT, Texas Tracks and Taps, we are all about new music and new beer. Hit us with a new artist and a new beer that you love.
Let's see. I mean, I've never been a big beer drinker. And I'm
Are you still
planning
dry right now?
That's okay.
What?
Well,
You said you went sober for a few months. Are you still sober right
Yeah,
now?
well, basically, I'm dry for 30 days, and I'm planning on going for a year.
Okay, well then never mind about the beer.
So yeah, I try to name. I mean, I've always Never mind about the beer, but
don't worry about it.
yeah, right now is I think they're either from New Zealand or Australia, one of the two. They're called Leisure,
Mm.
and it's like a five. It's probably like I don't know, like 7 or 8 piece band.
Wow.
And it's pretty crazy because they sound like a freaking like 3-piece or something.
Hmm.
But they're like that's one of like 24. That was one of my favorite records. Um, I can't recall what it's called, but it just looks like it's green. It's like a green record.
Is it
But
Pure Vision?
yeah, maybe it's Leisure. Yeah, Leisure Vision. Yeah. It's just a really cool, like, down tempo, soulful, sexy record. That I mean, it's great to wind down to. It's great to do so many things if you're trying to decompress. It's great to make out to. It's great to create a real cool, chill vibe. Um, that would be my number one. And it's a weird thing because like as an artist, you like, and I mean I DJ. I mean I DJ quite a bit. So I mean this is normally where I hear majority of new music, and I pretty much just keep it to that because you just don't want to. I don't know. It's a weird thing. You want to try to maintain your voice, and let inspiration. Uh, I don't know, like for me, life and certain records that I do get into. But I don't know. I just try to keep it very, a very what's the word? A clean palette.
Yeah.
When I'm working on new music, I don't know why I do that, but I guess for me, it allows me to be more vulnerable. I don't know, when I write, and but yeah, I'm trying to think. But yeah, I mean, the other artist has said Fred again. Um, there's another amazing electronic artist. He did a single with Anderson .Paak.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he did a single or with him late last year. But yeah.
Cool.
And then yeah, I mean, yeah, of course I've heard of Jungle, right?
I'm not familiar with Jungle.
No?
Yeah.
So Jungle's from a London band, and they're kind of like very I know you guys have heard their songs because they've blown up. Like I know you've heard them in commercials and stuff like that. You just didn't know, but they have like a very throwback, soulful. I don't. I can see it, but I don't really like. I guess the lead singer they sing in falsetto a lot, and so they kind of get reference to the Bee Gees, but I don't. It's like it's two white dudes from London. But yeah, that'd probably be one of my main bands over the last probably 5 years. I mean, I've been able to open up for them, and I've seen them in London, seen them in Austin. I've seen it's probably one of the bands I've seen the most. I've probably seen them once a year for the last 5 years.
Have to
So-
check them out. Jungle and Leisure.
Yeah, so Jungle and Leisure, it's basically kind of like Leisure is like a little more down tempo version of Jungle, and Jungle's a lot more kind of upbeat. But yeah,
Nice.
Nice.
Definitely check those out. Definitely looking forward to checking out a show here in 2025. It's been too long since I've seen you live, so
yeah. Let's stay in touch, and yeah, thank you. It was nice meeting you guys.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, thank you for y'all's time. And yeah, if y'all think of any venues, I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of just disheartening when you try to play a city that doesn't really want you to play there. So it's just like, oh well. But with you guys, having you guys, and like I said, my family's so close there, and they could come see me, but
Yeah,
I was trying to make that happen.
we can make it happen, I think. Yeah, for sure, man.
Y'all have a great weekend, and I'll hopefully talk to you guys soon.
Good to meet you,
See you.
JT.
Sure, man.
Thank you.
All right, peace.
Well, so glad I could have JT on from Ishi. That was a lot of fun. What did you guys think of the interview?
It's good. A lot of information. He went through a lot of his background, and my takeaway is I got to see him live. Like it's
It's
you know,
such a fun
he's-
show.
It's
The vibe's always so great.
yeah. I'm just hoping to see him soon. So I announce the shows, JT.
I thought we were gonna get an exclusive. I was gonna be like,
Yeah.
"You heard it here first," but he's very calculated. He knows he's gotta do it right. But yeah, it was really cool to chat with him, as I was trying hard not to fanboy, but I think it showed that I'm a pretty big fan of Ishi. But yeah, that was really cool. It was good to talk to him.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right. Well, what's the second beer we're drinking tonight from Celestial?
Well, I'll go. I have a little bit of this left. I was drinking out during the interview, but this is karaoke, or maybe it's karaoke. Hazy IPA from Celestial. So like can't go wrong with a hazy unless you don't like hazy IPAs. But I don't know. I was trying to look up Colombian Country Club on Untapped, that hoity-toity venue that JT was talking about, because I wanted to see, like, I wonder if they have any IPAs there, and if those are like $20 instead of $30. But couldn't find them on Untapped. I don't think anyone's checking beers in it at Colombian Country Club, unfortunately. But if we ever make it out to his DJ set, I'll be the first person to drink an IPA there if they have any.
And check it in there.
And check it in, of course. What do you got, John?
So I am trying Galactic Gondola, and I know it's very difficult to probably see on camera, but it is an Italian Pilsner, hopped with, they always put words on these cans that I can't pronounce, so I'm not going to even go there, but delicious beer, but this will be my first and second beer. I've got a 4-pack of it, so but my first time trying it, and mighty tasty. 5.2, so not too strong.
Nice. That's a good one. I like
Yep.
that one.
Nice crispy boy.
Yeah.
All right. I've got the Ube Tropic. I'm almost finished, but hopefully you can kind of see the very beautiful purple color
Love it.
Ube gives it.
It is beautiful.
That's wild that it's a beer that looks like that. They are
It's a
mad
smoothie
scientists.
sour.
geniuses, everything.
Yeah. A sour ale.
Some coconut in it.
Technically a Berliner Weiss. With coconut and pineapple and ube. And ube is kind of like a root vegetable sort of thing. If I'm mistaken,
Like
kind of
a
like
Sweet
taro.
potato. Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
Does it-
And it gives it a little bit of kind of nuttiness, from what I understand. But mostly it's used for the kind of the texture and the color,
Mhm.
as it's a purple root. So it's fantastic. So delicious. Love it. But,
Good
I love everything that Celestial does pretty much. So
Nice.
cheers to that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I have my Celestial glassware out tonight for this one.
Nice.
Can't compete with you
Weekend.
guys and your glasses.
I got a new
And
rain. I got a new
Repping the
Rangers
shirt
glass.
as well.
Repping Texas.
Rangers.
Can I share my glass?
Of course.
It has nothing to do with Texas, but it is
Fine.
Sloppy Joe's, Key West.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that Ernest Hemingway? Yeah. Yeah.
Little shout out to the hem. But empty glass, so it's done for the night.
Empty glass means it's about time to wrap up the show.
All right, so Graham and Coy gave you a little bit of a homework assignment. And the band that I selected was an Abilene-based band called Dexter and The Moonrocks. Wanted to kind of get your feedback on what you thought. Did you have a chance to check them out?
Yes.
Definitely. I'm just going to start by saying I thought they were describing their music as Western space grunge, and so I had this whole different idea in my head. That's actually the name of their their latest EP. So yeah, originally I was like, this is going to be like a crazy mix of sounds. No, it's pretty like I think feels like a 90s grunge inspired rock, just kind of album. There's a little bit of spaciness, but yeah, I mean it was cool. Like that comes out of Abilene. That's impressive on its own right there. But and also that it's younger, guys making music that I think we were into when we were their age or younger. So it's pretty awesome. But yeah, I got a lot of vibes from that like early 90s era of rock and grunge in particular, and Seattle sound stuff. So it's cool to hear their take on it, and you can hear the Texas in it. I don't know what it is about Texas artists, but like no matter what the genre or style is, you can like I maybe it's because I'm from here, but I can always hear like, yeah, he sounds like he's from Texas. But yeah. What about you, Graham?
Yeah. Same thing. Like, I thought they were referring to their style as Western space grunge, which I thought was somewhat fitting. The spaciness I didn't get like quite as much, but that makes sense that they were just calling their album that, or EP. But yeah, I listened to quite a bit actually. I very much preferred their live recordings to their like Spotify tracks, a little more produced stuff.
Yeah.
I listened to Messed Up Kid, which to me had a pretty country vibe, kind of intertwined into it, red dirt kind of vibe, which I think is something that they've also described as an influence. A little bit of drive-by truckerish sound maybe in there. Southern Carolina was another track I listened to, which sounded more very alt rocky. To me, had kind of a Kings of Leon, if I can speak, kind of thing to it. Pretty straightforward rock and roll. For Once was another song that had, this to me was one that touched more on the grunge influence, kind of had a Alice in Chains, but with a little bit of kind of a Texas country twang to it, which was interesting. I thought it was different. The favorite track, personally, that I listened to was a song called Bleach, which was kind of a bit more kind of, I guess, a little heavier, a little rockier than some of their other tracks. To me, it made me think of Soul Asylum, which is a band that I really, really like. I don't know if they were influenced by Soul Asylum, but it definitely had that kind of early 90s, just kind of alternative rock.
I don't know for sure, but grab an homage to Nirvana.
What's that?
Yeah. I was going to say I got Nirvana vibes from them every once in a while, especially on that song, and so I wondered if Bleach was somehow an homage to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say I definitely agree with the Alice in Chains comparison. I didn't think of the Soul Asylum one, but now that you mentioned that one, I agree on that too. But yeah, a little bit of Nirvana, a little bit of Soundgarden. I got a little bit of Temple of the Dog as well. Hunger Strike for some reason popped into my head when I was listening. I can't remember which song it was, but yeah, every song I was really enjoying it, but it kind of like triggered a memory of like an earlier song. And not that I think they were trying to emulate it or anything, but it just was like the same vibe, I guess. But it was cool.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you guys really diving in and listen to them. I myself have not listened to all their material. This was a recommendation from Sarah, who heard them, I think, on the radio. And I'm so thirsty, guys, for rock and roll. And Coy, what you said about like being younger guys, like we don't really hear a lot of younger musicians going the rock route. And so whenever I hear something that is just slightly rock infused, it's like I just want to drink it and consume it like crazy. So I put them on my playlist and started listening to some of their tracks, and it was a band that I felt like I could get into fairly quickly and really vibed with them. So yeah, so thumbs up, thumbs down. What'd you think?
Thumbs up. I mean, that's cool that they're coming out of, a place like Abilene, and like you said, they're doing, guitar rock and, playing instruments and writing their own songs and all that kind of stuff, that we like to see. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, I'd go see them live if they came to town and just check it out.
All right. Well, thank you. Don't give me any homework.
Okay.
All right.
We'll take this week off, but we'll have to come back with something soon. Next episode.
For sure.
You're on notice.
All right. Well, that does it, I guess, for episode 8 of Texas Tracks and Taps. So until next time, wish you all well.
Thanks to Ishi.
Thanks to Ishi.
Thanks, Ishi.